Hello, good evening. God bless you all. It is Friday. That means it is time for 5 minutes with First Lady, and I am First Lady Benita Buckner. Grateful to God for bringing us through another week. We have made it through until Friday. On this week, we know that Sunday we are celebrating our moms, that this Sunday is Mother's Day. So if you haven't had an opportunity to look at your calendar, here's your reminder to know that Sunday is Mother's Day. So we want you to do your best to celebrate your mothers. I was talking to my sister on today, and so I decided today that I would go off my subject. I've been talking about new life in Christ for the past 6 weeks. So this week I want to talk about motherhood and then talk about a personal experience. So I'm gonna get a little personal this week. I'm going to talk about infertility and motherhood. I'm going to give you a little personal experience that I dealt with infertility. We know, first of all, that motherhood is a great responsibility. And a lot of people don't talk about infertility. It's like a subject that no one talks about it, and it's usually not talked about with couples, dealing with it. Unfortunately, they blame the woman a lot of times and say it's just on the woman, but couples go through infertility and they don't receive support. They don't receive it from their friends, they don't receive it from their family, and they definitely don't receive any support of their church. And when I say support, I'm talking about emotional support that they need. And I can distinctly remember feeling like we were by ourselves. We felt like we were the only ones that were going through it. We felt like we were alone. We felt like there was no one that we could talk to. We felt like we were going through this by ourselves. And then when I mentioned just a minute ago, saying the blame, there were times I felt like I was being blamed. Literally, someone told me one time in a church, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. So someone came to me at a church and unfortunately said to me, "Why haven't you given your husband a child?" Someone said that to me one time, and I can remember how I felt. I took it personally. I felt hurt. I felt all of these different things. All these emotions were going through me because the one thing I wanted to be was to be a mother. I wanted a child, was doing everything I could to be a mother, to have a child, and for someone to say that to me. So then I had purpose in my heart to say, there are two words you don't say to a person that is dealing with infertility. You don't blame them, or you don't say it's such and such's fault. You don't put blame, you don't use those two words of blame, and you don't say fault when you're dealing with someone that are suffering through that because it is a suffering way, because you're dealing with that, the ups and downs of the emotions of it all. So you're thinking about that, and if there was a way that you're blaming the woman, and you're not thinking of the couple is going through it, but the people want to put the blame on the woman. It's not just the woman. The woman can't conceive by herself, so don't just put all the blame on the woman, saying it's the woman's fault. It's a couple thing. It's the you can't conceive by yourself. So take that in consideration. And a lot of times people just don't know what to say, and they end up saying, sadly, the wrong thing. So you have to take that in consideration too. So when it comes to that, don't use those two words of blame and fault. So I can remember it being so disruptive. It was very disrupted in our life. It disrupted our life so much to the point that our marriage consisted of appointments and calendars. We had an appointment for absolutely everything. Everything was scheduled, and I mean everything. Everything was scheduled. Before, after, everything was scheduled. Our life became a schedule. And so it took away spontaneity, it took away focus, it took away intimacy, because everything was scheduled. So you have to take that in consideration too. People don't think about that. You're always in a doctor's office, you're always having to discuss it and talk to sometimes strangers and specialists, and you're constantly going and retelling the same thing over and over, and giving your history and giving your intimacy, something that's intimate, Here you're sharing it over and over with doctors and being poked and prodded and so much going on within your life. And a lot of people just don't understand what you have to go through, all to wanting to birth a child or have a child. So people don't understand what infertility is all about, and it's a lot. So we went through that. Our life became a schedule. That's all it was. We just always looking at a calendar, places we had to go, things we had to do. Everything was on a schedule, and that's what our life became. So if infertility wasn't enough, then we, after about 10 years or over 10 years, realizing that we would never carry a child, realizing that we would never birth a child, and making that decision that we would adopt. So that means that we would raise somebody else's child. So that was a lot to realize that we were going to eventually, coming to that decision, finally making that decision to adopt. It was a lot. All of this to experience being parents. It was a lot for us to emotionally deal with, and still no one to talk to, no one to mentor us, no one to help us through that. Okay. No one to help us through this process, but we had each other, and that was, we had Jesus and we had each other. Okay. And so going through all of that. So it was an experience. Our adoption was truly a wonderful experience of our daughter, who will soon this summer be 16 years old. This has been a learning process for us each day. As parents, we've learned something, as a parent. And now, going through the terrible twos. I think we had the terrible ones, the terrible twos, the terrible threes, fours, and a terrible 13-year-old, 14, 15-year-old. We've had it all. But she will be 16 this summer. And we're grateful to God for that. So going through the adoption, all of those things. And put in the comments, let me know if you all want me to do a Zoom on adoption and to talk more in depth about this. I can do a Zoom on it so that if you have questions, we can openly discuss this. I've been asking all along what things you want to talk about, because I'm an open book. I'm a very transparent person. I don't mind having conversations and answering questions. So I'm willing to do that. But as we get ready to celebrate Mother's Day, I just want us to, however you are a mother, whether you are a birth mother, a surrogate mother, or godmother, or auntie, niece, sister, however you want to title it, my main thing is that you love your children, take care of them, mentor them, and teach them. I truly appreciate my mother. I appreciate the life lessons she taught me. She taught me in the home, as well as the life lessons that I learned even in the church. I find myself using them more frequently now, realizing this October, my mother will be in heaven 5 years. I'm always, referencing her and remembering her, and can't believe it's been 5 years. It feels like it's just been a few moments, but it's going to be 5 years on this year that my mother has been in heaven. And I truly miss her, because she is and so significant in my life. So cherish your mothers. If your mother's still living, cherish your mother. And mother, be a mother to your children, and teach them. Give them as much information as you possibly can. I still remember things my mother has taught me, and I glean from that information. I've gleaned from it, I'm using it, and I find it, I'm drawing from it, and God is bringing stuff back to my remembrance of stuff that she's taught me. And it's been a blessing to me, because, it's like I don't have to reinvent the wheel. The information is there, and he's been bringing it back to my memory, and it's such a blessing. So mothers, if you could do the exact same thing for your children, share the information with them, give them the tools that they need in order to grow, because if they know, they will grow. It's doing you no good for harboring and holding on to it. Pass it on, give it to them, mentor them, and help them to grow. It's just so important. Prepare them for every aspect of life. As parents, that's what we need to do. We are to prepare our children for every aspect of life. You don't want to ever look back and say, oh, I wish I shoulda, coulda, woulda with my children. You don't want to have those shoulda, coulda, woulda moments. When it comes to your children, I should have done this, I could have done this, I would have done that. No, cherish each moment. Pass it on to your children. Teach them, or show them, teach them, write it out, record it. However, you can get that information to them and help them as they go along this way. Do that each day, record it. However, you can, get that information to them. I'm sure they will benefit that in some sort of way. So then lastly, I would like to say, take the time to remember. Take the time to remember to pray for those couples that are dealing with infertility, that are longing for children. And if you don't know what to say, don't say anything. And then if you want to say something really bad, go to them and say, how can I pray for you? How do you want me to support you? Don't ask crazy questions. Don't, just say, how can I support you? How may I help you? How do you need me to support you? Those are the questions you ask. Other than that, say, how may I pray for you? So that's what I am asking you. Those parents that are dealing with infertility, pray for them. Pray that God helps them, as they go through the challenges they are having. Help them with gas money for the appointments, because there's a lot of appointments that they are dealing with. Help them in that manner. There's just so much that they deal with. Be that support they need, to talk to someone, or just a hug. Sometimes they just need someone to know that someone's there to love on them, that cares about them, and is praying for them. So that's what I have for my 5 minute with First Lady today. I would like to say happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. I am grateful to God for all the significant women that have been in my life, all the first ladies that have been in my life. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate all the mentors and my district missionaries and all the, like I said, the first ladies and mother figures that have been in my life. It has been a blessing. I feel that each one I've been able to draw from and grow from and learn from, that has helped me to get where I am today. I still got a long way to go, because I need some help with my filter. I need some help, y'all. I need some help. And so I'm just grateful to God for making it this far. But I know that the Lord didn't bring me this far just to bring me this far. I know I got some more growing to do, and I got some more learning to do. And I'm just waiting on him to continue to bring me up where he needs me to be. Okay. So I want you all to have a wonderful Mother's Day. God bless you all, and continue to have a blessed weekend. Happy Mother's Day. God bless you. Happy Mother's Day.